Welcome to LI802's module on precision and recall. The retrieval of materials can be considered along two important elements, precision and recall. Precision is the relevancy of the information to the question being asked. Recall is the amount of materials being retrieved. What's important to remember about precision and recall is that they're inversely related. The higher the precision, the less recall one will have. And the lower the precision, the higher the recall you'll have. The degree of precision and recall needed for your search is largely determined by the patron. During the reference interview, you'll attempt to determine exactly how much precision is required for their information need and how much recall is needed. If we can imagine an information domain, such as a database or an OPAC or the web, we can break it into three types of materials. Materials which are highly relevant to the particular search of the patron, materials which have low relevance to the patron, and materials which are largely irrelevant to the patron. Starting with the concept of precision, we define precision as the number of relevant items retrieved divided by the total number of all items retrieved. Normally, we'd want a high precision search if the patron has a very specific topic. If they do, then likely we'll want high precision, low recall. Practically speaking, we can limit this to maybe about 10 to 30 items. So, we can calculate precision by taking the number of relevant documents and dividing it through by the number of documents retrieved. So, a really precise search would be if we're looking for a specific title, in which case we're looking for one. If we were to put a title search in for the book Library Management into the OPAC at the Emporia State University Library, we'd retrieve about 205 hits. If we added a second search, which was we added in the author, which is Stewart, we'd then drive it down to 5. So the precision of the first search was 1 divided by 205, or about 0.005%. The precision of the second was 1 in 5. We need that one book of which we retrieved 5 books, which gives us a precision of 20%. So do you see how we can increase the precision of a search? Right? We just add in more search terms. Is one way of increasing precision. Turning to our second concept, recall. Recall we define as the number of relevant items retrieved divided by the relevant items in the entire information domain. So, when do we want high recall? For instance, if a person is just starting their research and is casting around for a specific topic, then we would probably want low precision and high recall. This would allow them to scan a lot of materials and get an idea of the topic area. It's actually difficult to calculate recall, as you never know how many relevant documents are within an information domain. The only way to actually know the number would be to dump the entire relevant domain and then manually count the number of relevant documents. But we can set this by setting a constant k as being the number of relevant documents. So, what's the greater likelihood of higher recall? If we take library management as our first search, we'd get 205 divided by some type of constant, the constant equaling the number of relevant documents within the domain. If we search by library into the OPAC at ESU, we drive out 11,493 divided by a constant. So you see, by decreasing the number of search terms, we actually increase the percentage of recall. Note that once again, if we look at our diagram, and a high recall search will pull not only relevant documents and a lot of low relevant, but will also pull in irrelevant documents. So if we look, how does recall affect precision? We can calculate this by precision is number of relevant documents divided by the number of documents retrieved. In our first search, 1 divided by, we need 1 item, a specific title, divided by 11,493 is 0.008 versus 1 divided by 205, or 0.005%. So you see, we can mathematically show that higher recall leads to lower precision. Summing up the precision and recall, I think there's 2 key lessons here. One is, remember that precision and recall are inversely related. Increasing precision always decreases recall. Decreasing precision increases recall. Now, the way we use that is that once you determine what the precision and recall needs are of the patron, you can determine that if you're getting too few hits, your precision is too high, so you need to increase your recall by broadening your search. If you're getting too many hits, then your recall is too high, so you need to increase your precision by narrowing your search. So by understanding the precision and recall needs of the patron, then when the hits come back, determining whether or not you're getting too high precision or too high recall, you can then determine how to structure your next search in order to better meet the patron's information needs.